Namaste, good morning. Welcome to welcome to episode 3 of season 2. We closed the episode 2 with introduction of the idea, concept and the terminology associated with that of Vidya and Mahavidya. Vidya is normal Vyavaharika Vidya. Mahavidya is Vidya with an ability to deal with cosmic spaces, cosmic entities and so on and so forth. Individual consciousness, individual ability to cosmic consciousness and cosmic abilities. Mahavidyas are also normally used as a superior Vidya. Normal Vidya and superior Vidya. Maha is translated as superior. But Maha actually is about cosmic, Mahat Loka. Now, among the Vidyas, both this Vidya, the normal Vyavaharika, transactional, day-to-day worldly Vidya, as well as the Mahavidyas, are still classified under Apara Vidya. Apara means A is opposite of Para. Apara Vidya. That means there is something called Para Vidya. There is Para Vidya and Apara Vidya. Para Vidya is what we are aiming at when you are talking about moksha, when you are talking about mukti, when you are talking about reaching Parandama, Paramatma, Para XXX. Okay. Therefore, our aim is to get to Para Vidya. We are in normal Vidya, and somewhere in between there is Mahavidya. Vidya and Mahavidya is to do with the ability to know and play and do in the space of cosmos, in the universe. And Para means beyond the universe. Universe means what Einstein would call as governed by space-time, and what physicists would say governed by space-time, matter, energy, dark matter, dark energy, antimatter, right from quantum level to cosmic level, universal level. So that's a big space of knowledge and playing with that, with this body. We are still coming back to this body only. We are not talking about how to use that knowledge for making a sentient robot. So our aim is at Apara Vidya. But then so far we have been talking only about Paravidya. Sorry, our aim is Paravidya. We are talking about Apara Vidya, and in that Apara Vidya so far we have only talked about normal Vidya. Okay, and then we say how the first 5 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama and Pratyahara, are preparatory in nature to what we may call as Mahavidya, which is Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. Patanjali doesn't use the word Mahavidya, okay, but I have picked up that word from Shakta Marga, the Dasha Mahavidyas, okay, that we have. Because there's a very clear parallel. Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi can be Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi leading to Kaivalyam, which is Para, can be equated to the Shakta Marga sequence of Samyam, Layam, Aikyam, Nasham and Kaivalyam. They also talk about that. While Patanjali tries to use prana as the Shakti, Prana Shakti, to take you to Kaivalyam, Shakta goes a little more into nitty-gritties. Okay. So they are talking about pockets of Shakti that you have, some 52 Shakti Pitas, as they say. And then trying to create the dharana, dhyana, samadhi in each of those Shaktis. And that Shakti structure is called the chakra structure. Okay, like the Meru that we talk about, or Sri Chakra, or any chakras that each school has. Each school has a chakra, which is the structure of the Shakti Pitas that they have. And in each Shakti Pita, they are trying to create that Samyam, Layam, Aikyam, Nasham. I'll tell you what is Nasham. Nasham is not destruction. Nasham is complete unification. That means you can't differentiate that. So they create that Aikyam in Shakti Pita. And then layer by layer they take it up. And then here they come to Parashakti. Okay. The Shiva school also starts with that, but they start from here. Okay. And they start from here, not below, but here. Manahata. And they talk about Mahadeva, Parameshwara. Here. The Kundalini Shakti school says the Shakti from the Muladhara, which is the bottommost in the Shakti Shakta schools, moves up, meets Shiva, and then slowly Shiva Shakti Aikyam evolves to here, where Parashiva and Parashakti come together as Para. But if you look at the visual picture that I am building into you, all of them are talking about nitty-gritties, detail, consolidation, moving up. These are all very common principles that you will have. So, if you understand Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, it is easy to map to the Shakta school, it is easy to map to the Shiva school. And then, once you get into understanding these three, then you can also include Vedanta into this. And if you are a student of quantum science, I will explain quantum science related aspects. We will talk about quantum coherence, quantum decoherence. We'll talk about superpositions, we'll talk about entanglement and all that stuff, and how it applies at quantum level inside the cells. This is my addition to this school of 4 schools that I have already talked about. Okay. How quantum biological changes can be associated with this, like how I associate Shakta school with Patanjali Yoga, Shiva school and Shakti school and Patanjali Yoga, Vedanta, Shiva school, Shakti school. And so when there is a unification happening within the schools of Hinduism, I am also unifying it with the quantum science, quantum biology and fundamental forces. We will see that. Physics. All this is still Aparavidya. Vidya of handling the universe, knowing and handling the universe. Okay, what we are interested in, Paravidya. So, but we have to cross through this Vidya, these stages of Vidya, individualized and cosmic, before you start to understand something beyond this, which is the Paravidya. If you don't understand what I am saying, then I will give you in a very humorous way what this is all about, this approach is all about. You know, I live in Bangalore in an apartment for which giving the route when there is no Google map, okay, telling people how to reach it is difficult. So I would say, if you are coming from Old Madras Road, come straight on the 80 feet road. At the end of it, you will find Bangalore Telephone Exchange, Indiranagar Telephone Exchange. That will be on your right. Then there will be a signal. The signal will take left to Jeevan Bhima Nagar. Okay. Then the person will first assume, okay, therefore I have to take the left. He said, no, don't take the left. I am only telling you have to reach that signal. If you take left, you are going away to Jeevan Bhima Nagar, but come straight. Okay. If you come straight, most of the traffic will turn right. That will go to 100 feet road. He said, okay, should I take that road? No, don't take that. That will go. If you go there, you will go to the wrong direction. Keep coming straight. Little ahead, you will find ISRO complex. Then there is a small lane that is going on the left. and there is another lane which is going immediately. Both are small. If you go straight, you will get Kodihalli village. Okay, I'll go to Kodihalli village. No, I said don't go into Kodihalli village. The lane which is immediately next to Isro, you come in. Okay, you will reach a dead end. That is where my apartment gate is. Okay, so I give positions and then say, but don't do that. Keep coming differently. Okay, and then once he reaches the gate, he will say, okay, I've reached the gate, but there seem to be 2 apartments in that. Okay, I said, okay, do you see a white building? I said, yes. That is not my apartment. Okay, then there's a pink building. That is my apartment. Okay, now there, this is my door number. Okay, 409. But you take the lift, ask the security to take the right lift, otherwise you'll go into another place, you have to come down again. Okay, take the lift to. Then you come to, when you take the lift to 409, don't press 4 because it's 3rd floor. You see, you have to give the direction in such a way that it is there, but that's not for you. It is there, but that's not for you. Ultimately, if you miss all that and then go there, okay, you will reach my place. This is a very humorous way of, I used to explain how people should reach my place. Okay. Now with Google Map, it is not an issue. Okay. So the same way, I have to explain to you Vidya, I have to explain to you Mahavidya, which are both Apara Vidya, and then say this is not for you. So that you know that if you are getting somewhere there, you must know that this is what it is, but this is not for me, I have to move forward. Okay, and then go to Paravidya. So we are actually interested in Paravidya, but we will deal with this because most of us are still in 80 feet road, Old Madras Road. You have to reach my house. Okay. So you have to take that route. So this is only a way of telling you what the route is. Okay. So when you talk about Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, these 3 together are called Samyama by Patanjali. Dharana is a streamlined flow, which I explained in season 1 as well. Streamlined flow. What is flowing here? Right now, let us assume it is the prana that is flowing, the life force, because that is a continuity from season 1. Okay. The prana flows, you have to move it up. Okay. Dhyana means when it is flowing, hold on to that. Don't get distracted. Dhyana therefore means remaining focused. Okay. When you remain focused on that, then a sustained amount of focus in anything normally leaves you to get absorbed in that. If you are reading an interesting book or watching an interesting movie, and your sustained way you are remaining focused on that, you will get absorbed in that book or you will get absorbed in that movie. The same way, after obtaining Samana and Udana moving up, and then Panchaprana, Dashaprana is streamlined here. We continue to focus on prana, or by the time there are a lot of other flows that are happening, but I am using the word prana for the moving. Whatever is flowing there, you continue to remain focused and hold on to that, you will get absorbed into that. That process of absorption is called samadhi. Dharana is getting a streamlined flow. Dhyana means remaining steadfast in that. Ekagrata, not wavering, not getting distracted, not getting scattered, and so on and so forth, remaining there. Okay. And then getting absorbed into that is samadhi. That's a simple way to understand. And in the same way, in Shakta, Samyam, Layam, Aikyam. Okay. Aikyam is equivalent to somewhere advanced stages of dhyana. Okay. Layam is dharana, equivalent to dharana. But layam still wavers. You have to get it steady. Okay. It can be pranalaya, it can be manolaya. Okay. Manolaya. I mean, students of music will know manolaya better. Or listeners to music will know manolaya better. Okay. So pranalaya, manolaya, get it straight. Hold on to that. Then you'll get into Aikyam, which is Dhyana, equivalent to Dhyana. Okay. And then Nasham. Nasham is equivalent to Samadhi, which is completely getting absorbed that you don't even know that you are absorbed into that. That's why Nasham word is used. In Vedantic scripts or Vedic scripts, not Vedanta doesn't explicitly talk about, they talk about Mano Nasham. The mind has to be killed, completely destroyed. That doesn't mean that mind gets killed. Mind essentially means it gets absorbed into itself to be able to move up. Okay. So when you're still talking about Patanjali Yoga, which is restricted to mind, okay, it's a treatise on mind, as I said earlier. Okay, it's restricted to mind. The mind will get so absorbed because of the focus or something happening here. Okay, it remains still. Okay, the mind becomes still. Of course, before the mind becomes still, your body has to become still. That you achieve with asana pranayama. Okay, and we'll talk about how Shakta school enables a few other techniques to make your body still. So you make your body still in an erect position, in a Sukhasana, Padmasana or Siddhasana. Okay, the whole thing is sitting like a statue. The moment you do that, then you play with your prana and make your prana still in one line. Once you do the prana stilling, you do the mind stilling. Once you do the mind stilling, it is samadhi. Okay. Now the samadhi has got very many types. In the aparavidya, depending on where you get the samadhi, where do you get the absorption, what laya did you take, what flow did you get your samadhi in, okay, will determine what kind of superhuman powers that you get. But the ultimate for paravidya, for moksha, is to still it in such a way that right from here everything is centered, which we discussed in season 1. Everything is centered. Okay, not just in planar form, in the 3D form, centered here. Okay, that you get the complete controllership to center it from here, from the Brahmanandara up to the Mooladhara. Body stilling, prana stilling, mind stilling, and then total stilling of psychosomatic functions in the brain. Then something happens, you get to know the absolute truth. So the total stilling is dealt with in Patanjali Yoga in the 4th pada on Kaivalya. Okay. But this is the principle with which we talk about in all the schools of practices. Okay. When you practice with body, mind, I mean, emotion is different. We'll see that. Okay. Emotion stilling also happens in this process, which is equated to Shanta Rasa, peacefulness, calmness, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, before you understand the Paravidya, Parashakti or Rajarajeshwari, okay, Chidrupi Paradevata Rajarajeshwari. Chidrupi means in the form of consciousness. So even in Shakta Marga, Rajarajeshwari, the Parashakti, named as, is called Chidrupi Paradevata, which is what Vedanta says, consciousness. Okay. That is what Patanjali also said. Chitta Vriddhi Nirodha. Chitta Vriddhi at this level is mind stilling. But when you still mind, you get a new 6th sense or Turiya, the 4th state of consciousness, which you hold on. And with that consciousness, you are able to do something outside your body, mind, but then you still have to still that consciousness. When you still that consciousness, okay, that is samadhi of the Kaivalyam type, which is called the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Nirbija Samadhi, Nirvichara Samadhi, and all that stuff. That is dealt in Kaivalyam. Okay. So all the yogic practices which are doing with body, mind is essentially the same. So I have talked about Patanjali, I have talked about Shakta Marga, I will talk about Shiva Marga, I will talk a little more about Vedanta. I will also bring in science into this, quantum science. Okay. If there are other schools which I don't know, you can use this as a reference model to to map what you know to this. Most likely, in my opinion, it will be the same, because that's what the Vedas are very clear about it. And if 4 schools or 5 schools, including modern science, are supporting that, then probably we are on the right track. Okay. Now, in discussing with the Samyama, the superpowers, I want to demystify the superpowers a little more. Okay. So I have picked up in the third chapter or third pada, Patanjali talks about 40 types of superhuman powers. I want to demystify them. Okay. So, not that we have got enough examples. If you take into the Indian diaspora, across India, there are several yogis, several methods, Bhairava, Gauris, even normal Siddhas of Shaiva Siddhanta, Shakta Marga, Sattvic methods, Rishis, Maharishis, everyone had gone through this and they have demonstrated. I will give you latest examples in my generation on all this. Okay. It's not that we are talking about it used to happen there, now is it possible? Yes, there are people who are demonstrating that. Okay. So I have picked up about 7, 8 of this and I will deal with them in detail. Again, to explain to you, to demystify you in the same 4, 5 schools that I talk about. Okay. So we'll spend some time, maybe 2, 3 episodes only on this superhuman powers, with the clear caveat that it is only to know, but not to get trapped into that, because we have some more way to go in terms of the moksha, mukti, paravidya and all that stuff. Okay.